This polarising debate, I think for most of the market, patience is about 6 months. Then after that, who knows, it's anyone's game. Is the next move a rate cut or a rate hike? And that debate is actually quite big right now.
It is. And I think if the Fed doesn't validate the expectation that it is a rather long, patient period, and that maybe the next hike is the next move is balanced on the downside, I think the market may react. But as important as the patience on the rate hike is the flexibility on the balance sheet. And those are the two things the markets are going to focus on like a laser.
What do you think, Krishna?
Well, I think Mohamed is being very careful here. The point is the Fed is basically done. I think the U.S. economy is slowing down to a pace where no further rate hikes are needed. All the stuff that they were talking about in September and October proved to be nonsense, as it should be. They were on the verge of making a policy mistake, and they have avoided that. So the real question is really on the balance sheet, as Mohamed truly asks, which is, I think a significant part of the Fed probably wants to continue to do something on the balance sheet front. But I think the flexibility that they had to do all of those things has gone away. So they are going to stop on the balance sheet front as well. It's just a question of when.
Lisa?
Well, two things. First of all, with the balance sheet, Bill Dudley, former New York Fed president, came out with a column in the past couple of weeks where he basically talked about how the balance sheet has been too hot of a topic. It's not that big of a deal. If you think about the other side of the balance sheet, the amount that the U.S. Treasury Department is selling in excess debt to finance the deficit, that's a much more significant issue than any reduction in the balance sheet, number one. And number two, talking about that the Fed is definitely done. What's interesting to me, if that's so clear, why is it that more than half of the people who come on my radio show and who come on your television show say they expect at least one more hike this year? This is sort of this incoherence right now in the markets I'm not understanding.
Mohamed?
I agree. And why is it that the equity market is doing really well? So I don't want to disagree with Krishna right up front, but I think the issue is not the U.S. economy.
But yes, you do want to.
The U.S. economy is not slowing significantly. Mm-hmm. I think if you want to understand the Fed, you look away from that. You look to the rest of the world. You look at this notion that they don't want to disrupt the markets. And you look at that notion that some of them believe there's still slack in the economy. That is why they indicated patience, and that is why they indicated flexibility. So it is not that the U.S. economy would not justify another rate hike, is that the Fed, I think, is afraid of the consequences of another rate hike given what's happening in the rest of the world.